Hi everyone, welcome to the White Hatter YouTube live show. It's our pleasure to be here with you today. We got a bunch of things we're talking about.
I'm Darren.
I'm Brandon.
Okay.
And Candace is in the back in the chat. Hello, Life of Potterhead. Hello, Nene. Hello, Angelica. Hello, everyone, for joining us, and those of you in the chat. Let's get straight
A lot to cover today.
into it.
A lot to cover today.
Yeah.
Kind of some interesting things that are going on, and given what's going on. This first one,
Let's talk about some updates.
Here we go.
For those of you who don't know yet, in the White Hatter, our app is live. It's a full app. It's in the Apple App Store, Google Play Store. It's all there. Please join us. Download our app. It has links to all our resources. It's a great resource, and it's free.
it is. It's free for everybody. It's got resources for Canadians, Americans, primarily for teens and preteens, but there's no reason why parents, teachers, even school counselors can't have it. It's free. It costs you nothing. We don't collect any information. We don't sell any information. It's just our way as a company to give back to our community. We've heard it loud and clear, especially from the teens that we present to. It would be really cool to have something on our phones that if we need help, whatever that help is, there's one place we can go. So we got all police emergency numbers on there, no matter where you live in Canada, United States. We've got eating disorder things, suicidal thoughts and ideation, just a ton of different resources that you can reach out to 24/7 if you need to do that, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Hello, Martin from the chamber. Hello.
Hey, Martin, how you doing?
Thank you for joining us.
I bet you're tuning in to watch the Zoom stuff because we saw you post.
I saw
Sorry.
the comment,
Yeah,
yes.
we saw your comment.
Okay.
So.
Also, for those of you who don't know, last Thursday was our first Thinkable Thursdays, thought-provoking topics we talk about with other experts.
Yes.
We did it with Wayne, and Darren hosted that.
Yeah, if Wayne is from Northern Ireland, he kind of does the same thing in Northern Ireland like we do here. It was really kind of cool to get his perspective from where he is. We talked about a whole host of things specific to what's going on, and you can go to our YouTube channel where we've got it there. This week coming up, I'm talking to Alan McKenzie. He's from the UK. He's from England, so we're going to get another different accent there. I'm hoping I'm going to be bringing people in from Australia, from different places around the world, just to get perspectives, right? And also to prove that the internet and social media understands and does not recognize any international boundaries, kind of like COVID-19. Right? Yeah, it's a good segue.
And you said on YouTube, we got copyright strike. No, we got
COVID-19?
I don't know.
Because we use COVID-19?
So YouTube now filters that in videos or something.
Whatever. That's what it is. It's a designated medical definition. It's COVID-19. Right? Anyways.
You posted this the other day.
Yes, actually, I posted it today. I got Candace to post it today. It was about, this is nothing new. It's been around for a while where you get these chain game messages, and it's taking place mostly on Facebook right now, where people will ask you for favorite things, whatever those favorite things are. And a lot of them have to do with the common questions asked if you forget your password. And so if
those questions there.
Yeah, but if you look at the answers, first job, stop, current job, send. If you read the entire thing there, it says stop sending your potential passwords. It was kind of a little bit of a meme, but again, it's becoming very popular, and some of these may be legit. However, a lot of them can be used for social engineering, right? Where people are purposely doing that so they can learn the key codes that they can use to get your password.
Candace loves finding these online.
I bet she does. I bet she does.
Hey, let's talk about some news.
Yeah. In the news.
First article we want to talk about kind of went under the radar, but for those of you who use Facebook Messenger and video chat on Facebook, Facebook released this week an update.
Yes.
They now have the Messenger app as a standalone app on the desktop laptop environment.
Do you think they're going after the Zoom population there and the others? What do you think?
Really?
What do you think? Eh?
Really?
Yeah.
They allow you to video chatting on a dedicated app now on your desktop?
Go figure. But I mean, the concern is it's Facebook. So understand that anything you're posting on there, Facebook is going to be collecting and using, right?
But no platform is perfect, and we're going to talk about that here in a bit.
Well. Yeah, you know what? I would rather use a different platform if I had the opportunity. But for those people who, looking for something simple and aren't afraid to use Facebook because that's where they connect, it's interesting that they've done this. But I mean, there's no doubt they see that there's profit to be made.
More articles being posted out this week questioning the idea of screen time, and having limits on screen time in today's world really doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, it doesn't. You know, prior to this pandemic this was a hot topic, right? Where a lot of people were saying kids are spending way too much time online. It's creating isolation. They don't have friends and all this kind of stuff. Well, guess what? Screen time is now allowing us during this pandemic to stay connected with one another using digital, right? Which is really cool. But I mean, ultimately, the question here is not how much time are the kids spending online, it's what they're doing with the time, right? Are they, all they doing is consuming bubblegum for the brain, or are they being producers and creators? And there's some really cool things going on that we're going to talk about later in today, especially kids that are doing online. So I think during this pandemic that we're all dealing with, we need to kind of loosen up a little bit. And trust me when I say that most of your kids are doing some really cool stuff online that you'll see. But again, it's about finding a balance, and that's important for parents to be aware of.
Yes, Leslie Potterhead, Trolga and Peppa are friends today. They're hanging out together.
Yes, they are. They're right above my head. They're there. There's Trolga and there's Peppa right there.
There was a bit of an abomination on our Instagram pre-show show. If you're not familiar with that, on Instagram, like half an hour before this show, we go live on Instagram.
Oh no, Trolga may be making an appearing where it's actually kind of funny. I have the technology now to make Trolga, who's an inanimate object, actually talk.
It was scary, and that's on Instagram live that we do prior. And for those who don't know, Trolga is kind of our studio mascot.
Right there, resident troll, the good one though, right?
Some people say, we hear this all the time, if I use a VPN, I am perfectly safe.
Which we do, we use a VPN.
We do.
But?
This is a great example. Now the issue's fixed now, but basically there was a flaw in the iOS VPN system that allowed a bypass. So VPNs make you, what is it, Darren?
Safer.
Yeah, they're not
safer.
Perfect.
Not safe, nothing's 100%, but they make you safer, there's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Right?
So just so you know, don't think a VPN is 100% private or safe. There are workarounds.
But however, we highly recommend one, and the one that we recommend is?
We use private internet access.
PIA. We like it. It works quite well. Doesn't slow down our internet connection whatsoever. So for the kids that are watching us, because a lot of you will use free VPNs that slow down your gaming, PIA doesn't do that at all, and they're not collecting and selling your information, right? So, okay, now it's a big topic.
Let's get into our main topic today. Poor Zoom.
Okay, just before you go on, when I hear that word Zoom, for the boomers that are watching right now, like me, when I was like 12 and 8, 9, 10 years old, there was this show called Zoom.
Coming.
ZOOM, Box 350, Boston, Mass. 02134. Send it to Zoom. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the Zoom app, right?
Yes, the Zoom video conferencing. So the Zoom video conferencing app has got really popular in the last month.
Yeah, I think prior to the COVID starting, they were at 10 million. I think they're up to like 200 or 300 million people now,
There's a lot of users.
It's amazing what's going on.
But Zoom did not perceive this massive surge of users, and Zoom has gotten a lot of focus for security and privacy throughout the last couple of weeks.
There were some challenges that have been identified over the past couple of weeks. Now, to be fair, we'll talk about this a little bit later. When we looked to a conferencing platform a couple of years ago, you had actually identified a lot of these issues, right?
Yes.
2 years ago, and that's one of the reasons why we as a company didn't go with Zoom. We went with a different product called Blue Jeans is what we use. But a lot of these things that we're going to talk about now, Zoom has kind of recognized, and they're kind of dealing with these issues.
Yeah.
So we'll dive deeper.
We'll talk about this. Although we're going to talk about some issues, they are starting to do their part in fixing them.
Yeah, and one of the things I say with Zoom right now is, well, we'll talk about it at the end.
First article that came out earlier this week, security researchers have found that when it comes to black hat hackers, the bad hackers, we've seen a surge in website domains, websites being bought using the word Zoom in the website. And it's about in the last little bit, 1,700 domains with the word Zoom have been registered online.
So they're using the popularity of the Zoom app as a phishing attack, right?
Yeah, so a hacker creates a fake website with Zoom in the title to make it look like the Zoom official website, and you download the app, but instead of downloading the official real app, it's a virus. So make sure you're careful of the things you download.
So when they go to download, they should actually be going to the Zoom page, right?
Yes.
Do that, right?
Don't go to links and messages or emails. Go to the actual website to download the app.
Yeah, for sure.
Really, really, really important.
Really. Yeah. I mean, anytime any app becomes or social media platform becomes popular, first thing phishers do, the criminals, they create phishing attacks using it, knowing that people are going to click on it, right?
And people do, and
for sure.
it's because things are changing so much. hackers have found right now in today's world, there's a lot of opportunity for the criminal element.
Big time, and time, right?
time.
Because they're bored, right?
Yeah.
They're bored. They're at home like all of us are, so they're looking for things to do. So they're trolling, right? Trolling. So.
Another topic coming out, this was more last week, but now it's kind of been resolved. The Zoom iOS app, so the app you download on your phone for the Apple device to do Zoom conferencing, it was discovered that there was a feature in the app that sent data from Zoom to Facebook if you had a Facebook account or you didn't have a Facebook account. Data from your session and your device was being sent to Facebook, even if you had an account or not.
And that's because they let their API do that. And that was one of the reasons why 2 years ago we decided not to go with them, because we identified that as a weakness. And so, yeah, they've removed the API to allow the personal identified information to be removed, but there's still some question about if Facebook still has access to do certain things. Like, we don't know yet. We haven't had a definitive answer on that. So we're still waiting for that. But they have fixed it with regards to the personal information. But again, it was something, when the app first came out, it was free. So if it's free, how are they going to make their money, right?
True.
They got to sell data, right? We are the product that these companies are selling to other companies, and that's how they did it, through their API. So.
Yeah, some privacy experts are still a little concerned about the data being sent,
Yes.
but at least the main stuff have been addressed,
Yes.
and Zoom is still actively working on increasing their security and privacy.
For sure.
Krebs on security
This guy's
week.
good. He's one of my go-to people, right, when it comes to security and software and all that kind of stuff, right?
Any security InfoSec professional usually is subscribed to the newsfeed here.
He was so good that hackers actually tried to knock him out, right?
Yes.
They DDoS him all the time doing
Yeah.
stuff. He's just one of the go-to people in the industry.
One of the best security journalists out there.
For sure.
So basically, some hackers have built a Zoom bombing tool. Basically, so one security researcher said in the article when they were interviewed, a single instance of the ZWarDial hacking tool program can find approximately 100 meetings per hour and just jump onto a Zoom meeting. Normally because of why?
Why?
Because they don't put their password. People, when they make meetings,
Really?
they don't put passwords.
No.
So basically, for many video conferencing meetings, you send a link, and it's a random link with a random number, and then you join the meeting. Well, some conferencing apps, Zoom has a feature, so does other ones. You can add a password that you have to know.
Yeah, like Blue Jeans has one that we use.
Yeah. So what this means is anyone with the link can join into the meeting. Mm-hmm. So this tool kind of just automates and guesses random strings of letters and words to join the meeting.
It's kind of funny. We in the OSINT field, open source intelligence field, we've known about this one for a while, right? Like, it's been around in the industry for a while, but it's become well known now because of the Zoom bombing that was going on, right?
Yeah, and they also said if you have multiple instances of these running at the same time, you can just randomly jump into a bunch of different meetings. So, I mean, we have many people have talked about this in the news and online. Basically, if you're going to run a meeting, be it Zoom or something else, have a password in place.
Password.
Or lock the meeting once everyone's joined.
Yeah.
There's depending on the platform, there's different ways, but don't rely on defaults. Mm-hmm. Check the settings.
For sure.
Really important.
Yeah. And they're doing a really good job right now. Like, the CEO was on CNN last night saying mea culpa with the Rogan. We never, ever, in our wildest dreams, did we ever think that this thing would take off the way it did. And so they finally now recognize that there's a lot of significant issues, and they're taking the time now to fix those. So, it's very rare that you get a CEO going mea culpa.
Yeah.
They always want to find excuses. This guy didn't. No, he just said, we own it, right? Yeah, you're right.
And we'll talk about that later on. Yeah. At the end. Same thought as the domain issues, people buying Zoom-ish domains that look like Zoom. People are hackers, black hat hackers, are making Android apps pretending to be Zoom, but instead it's a virus, it's a Trojan horse. You download it, it affects your system, and it really impacts you. So, be careful of the things you download. Make sure you download from the proper and legitimate sources.
And don't forget, for those of you who are watching, if you like what Brent and I are talking about right now, don't forget to hit that like button, and even more importantly, hit that subscribe button.
Yes. We're not traveling at schools right now. We're here making content. If you want to help us, please subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, all those places. And we really appreciate it. And we're really trying to reach the 1,000 sub mark here on YouTube. and 10,000 followers on Instagram.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
What else we got going?
Zoom again.
Here we go.
Zoom encryption. So on the Zoom website, it says that they use encryption.
Yeah, their marketing was a little shaded, right? A little shaded.
The impression was it was end-to-end encryption, meaning on your device and another device, completely encrypted.
So a good example, when I FaceTime with you, the Apple FaceTime, it's encrypted end to end. So as I'm sending it and you're receiving it, only you and I can see it. Even people from Apple can't see it because it's fully encrypted.
Basically.
Right? The problem or the challenge that Zoom had was that they were using transport encryption.
Yes.
Right, which means that what I was sending to you to your computer or to your device
in transit
was encrypted.
Yes.
Meaning that if somebody was trying to sniff it or get in there, they couldn't see it.
It's the same encryption when you go to Facebook.com.
Yeah.
You're like that connection that you were connecting to Facebook is encrypted.
But once it hits the Zoom servers, if there were employees or administrators who wanted to see and hear what was going on, they could do it. So if you had an employee or somebody at Zoom who didn't have a very strong moral compass, there's nothing there to stop them from hearing and seeing what was going on and basically using it as
Chances
they see
are
fit, right?
that didn't happen, but the fact that there's an opportunity for that was an issue.
Yeah, so I think just the way that they said, yes, we're encrypted, it was a little shady, right?
Yeah.
Yes, they were to a degree, but it wasn't full end-to-end encryption.
Yeah.
And most of the software out there that allow these types of video conferencing don't do that, except for things like FaceTime, right?
Yeah.
FaceTime allows you to do full encryption, and there's some other paid products
There's other ones out there
that do that as well. So just to be aware of that. Again, this is why we say no matter what platform you use, understand that everything you say and do online is public, permanent, searchable, exploitable, copyable, shareable, and sometimes it's all for sale. So as long as you're doing that using Zoom and you're not sharing really private or restricted or sensitive information, that's key.
Yeah, and we talked about this on our last YouTube live show about some issues in regards to people think things are private but not, especially for corporations who pay for a subscription. The admins of that corporation can see data on the computers that run Zoom and sometimes jump into the meetings that are actively. So, and we talked about that on our last YouTube live, and it's here saved on YouTube. So check that out if you want to learn.
They're all free. They're all free. Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe.
Zoom again. 0-day vulnerabilities, and these are fixed now. 0-day vulnerabilities. So issues that were never known about before were discovered. But one of the issues would allow a black hat hacker attacker, a bad hacker, to take control over someone's webcam and microphone.
Again, I mean, because Zoom became so popular, it just exploded. Obviously, there were going to be people who were going to try and see if they could exploit it. And they identified 2 0 days earlier this week. They fixed them really quickly. But I suspect that we'll see more coming on. But I mean, it appears that Zoom is now doing their due diligence in order to deal with those as they're brought to their attention. But we see that on everything. I mean, this is why big companies, before they release their software, always put out 0-day competitions. I mean, I know that Apple's a good example. They just paid somebody $75,000 because they found a 0-day in one of the programs that they were using, and so they paid them $75,000.
Basically, right? You, a hacker, can release this vulnerability to the public, or as a company, we can pay you money if you tell us first.
Right. I mean, it's another good way to make money.
Good incentive.
And in fact, there are pen testers out there that are doing that type of stuff.
That's how they make their living.
That's how they make their living, right? They're out there, they're good hackers, right? They're trying to figure out vulnerabilities, bring it to the attention of companies, and then companies will pay them for finding those vulnerabilities.
It's like old Wild West, and it's called a bounty program, right? It's like old classic bounties where basically go out there. If you catch a person, we give you money for it.
Yeah, the bounty's the 0-day. And if you find it, we'll pay you for it, right? Kind of cool. You know, we should make up little, like, that's a good way to kind of put it from the old Westerns, right? The bounty hunters and that kind of stuff, right?
That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Another privacy consideration. So, Zoom leaking people's email addresses and photos to strangers. And this one's a little more complicated, but let me try to walk you through this one. So, on Zoom, you can sign up for an account.
Yes.
Now, if you sign up for it with a public email address, be it at Google, at Outlook, at Hotmail, non-issue.
Okay.
But if you sign up for Zoom using a corporate email, good example, Brandon at thewhitehatter.ca.
Or Darren at vicpd.ca, right?
Exactly.
Police department or something.
So those are like corporate domains.
Yes.
Now, what Zoom does, and here's a picture from like I got this picture yesterday, and what this is basically, by default, Zoom Contacts creates a directory of other people in your organization who use the same subdomain, the main domain.
Right.
So, for example, if you sign up for Zoom using Darren at thewhitehatter.ca,
Right.
I sign up with Brandon at thewhitehatter.ca,
Right.
automatically we'll be connected because we both use the at whitehatter.ca
Right.
address.
Right.
Now, let's say you are a bad hacker. Good example in this article here, one researcher said, I was shocked by this. I subscribed to Zoom, an alias, fortunately, and I saw 995 people, unknown to me, their names, their images, and mail addresses, because they used the same domain information, and they got automatically connected.
So what about school districts then that are signing up, the teachers are signing up using their domain from SD61 as their email address? Should they be doing that? Or is there...
Well, it depends. So when a company signs up for Zoom, and it says here, and they have a link on their page in their help center, basically you can send a request to Zoom to say, hey, my domain, be it the White Hatter or whatever school district or business, don't automatically connect people together that use the same domain.
So it's incumbent upon the school district then to do that.
Yes,
So-
depending on how they set it up.
So for districts or organizations that are watching this right now, like there's some people from the chamber that are watching us right now, if you're going to use your corporate email domain in your email address, if you want to make it even more secure so that you prevent this from happening, you should be connecting with Zoom personally and bringing that to their attention to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, and as Zoom says here, you as an admin, whoever admins the subscription, the accounts, they can turn it off, but they have to go and do that.
Okay.
So
there you go.
Yeah, a little more complicated, I know.
But I think it's important.
It is important.
Especially for those organizations like school districts and big businesses that have multiple people now working externally in the home using the corporate domain in their email address, right? Yeah. I think it's really important.
So, yeah, we talked a lot about Zoom and a lot of some negative, and a lot of these things have been addressed already. Some are currently in progress. But thankfully, the Zoom CEO.
Yeah. Mea culpa, right? On CNN, mea culpa. He was right up there and saying, you know what, we've been hit hard for these past week and a half, 2 weeks now, and we're guilty. Like, we recognize that we had all kinds of issues that we never ever thought about because, you know, we just weren't as popular as we are now. And you know what? We are now taking a break and we're focusing all our energy, all our time, all our money to make sure that we make this platform safe. So, you know, I've got schools asking me, Darren, with all this controversy that's going on with Zoom right now, should we be using Zoom in the classroom? Personally, we use a product called Blue Jeans only because they thought about a lot of these things prior to even going with their product.
But they are a paid service.
They are a paid service. Having said that, I think Zoom, if teachers and businesses are using Zoom specifically for the purposes of sharing education, right, where they're teaching something, demonstrate, whatever it is, for teaching purposes, I think it's okay. But if they're using it, they shouldn't be sharing any kind of private information while they're using it, like the name of the students, their locations, what's called private identifiable information, right? You need to be staying away from that stuff. I mean, with convenience comes vulnerability, and there's no doubt that Zoom is an extremely convenient and a pretty cool tool, there's no doubt about it. But with that, and because we pivoted so quickly over to conferencing, because it's the way that we're going to have to do things as we're all now sheltered in the homes. It's extremely convenient, but we never thought about some of the vulnerabilities. Well, now these vulnerabilities are becoming more public because pen testers and hackers are now seeing these things and bringing them to the attention, so we're being more aware, right? I do think there are some teachers that are like absolutely terrified of Zoom right now because of all these things that are hitting the public. However, I think with some of the changes that they're making, it's going to be safer. Nothing's ever 100% safe. And as long as you're using it for the purposes of sharing the educational information, yes. Where I would be a little hesitant is if I was a business entity and I was sharing private, restricted, or sensitive information specific to the company. I don't think I'd be using Zoom to do that kind of stuff, right? So something just to think about.
Here's the official announcement from the CEO. Basically said in the next 90 days, I think we're in day 4 now or something. They said they're suspending all product development, meaning adding new cool features, and the teams are solely focusing on the security and privacy of the platform. And actually, the CEO said every Wednesday they're doing a weekly webinar to provide and update consumers and customers on the security updates and fixes they're implementing. So great move on their part. Really being publicly saying, you know what, they're increasing their bug bounty program.
Yeah.
They're increasing it to find the issues, to fix the issues. So Zoom is doing good things right now to fix some of the things we talked about.
Yeah, and again, people ask us, well, Darren, what platform do you use? We're Blue Jeans, right? We use Blue Jeans. That's something that we decided to do 2 years ago because we knew that there was a lot of these privacy issues that we wanted. That's what we use. Will I partake in a Zoom? If somebody wants to Zoom with me, will I do it? Sure, I will.
Yeah.
I'll do that, but I'll be very careful about what I'm saying over Zoom. So.
Talk about some tech updates.
Yes, some really cool updates that are going on. What's the first one? This one was kind of an interesting one. This one is actually very interesting.
So Apple released a tutorial video on their channels earlier this week, and someone with a keen eye found in the gray text of the tutorial, because we assume that the phone they were using is like the next version of the phone.
Yeah.
There's this thing called AirTags.
And
people are now this video is no longer on Apple's channels.
Right.
They took it down. They're like, we shared something we shouldn't have shared.
A 0-day vulnerability.
Not quite that.
But it's kind of, right? It was out there and they didn't think anybody would find it.
And people are supposing, this is those tiles, those Bluetooth tiles, so if you lose your keys, you find your keys.
I think that's what it is. I think what they're coming out with is some kind of an RFD they're going to be able to put on a device, and then going after the tile market, right? Because tile is so popular, and it works quite well. So as a corporate entity, why wouldn't I want to see, especially if you're somebody like Apple, who
integrates with your Find My iPhone app.
Oh yeah, right. When you think about it, right? So it's a one-stop shopping again, right? So I use tile. So I have tile. I use it on a variety of different products.
Tile too.
I'm not telling you where I'm using them, but it's a different platform that I have to put on my phone with another piece. Whereas if it's just Apple, it's just there, right? So
a little bit of rumors out there with that little share. Kind of cool.
Could be kind of interesting.
Hey, Citrine Animations.
Citrine!
Follower of ours, and we posted a lot. They do Lego animations, and we've actually shared a lot of their animations here on the live show, and we work with Hervé, who's also a white hatter here on the team.
And this young man is he is in his mid-teens. We're not talking adult, mid-teens, young adult. The work that he does within the area of what he does with animation, with Lego, his dad was telling me that he's actually had contact from people who make the Lego movie, kind of talking to him. This young man has got a bright future for him when it comes to making employment, right? Making some
they have
money.
a Patreon now.
What's a Patreon?
It's like a subscriber payment system. You can support a creator, and they give you extra content with their support, but they don't support in other ways.
Yeah, it kind of gives people exclusive content, right?
Yeah,
it's that nobody else has. So check out his site. Just unbelievable what it is that he does. So big shout out.
We have a question here from Martin asked a question in the chat. So using Zoom for regular networking meetings would be fine, but maybe not so much for board meetings.
Ding, 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 ding.
Generally, it's taking proper precautions. So what I would suggest is that if you are going to use Zoom, because maybe you don't want to spend money on the corporate account, because it's free by default.
Yeah.
If you're going to use it, make sure you have you have a password on the meeting. You secure the meeting so no one else can join once people are in. And if you do those, generally you're fine. It's not as if there's no evidence. There's no evidence at this point in time that the end-to-end encryption not being there is a huge issue in terms of Zoom employees spying on your meetings.
Right.
Like, I don't, like...
But I still think that if it's a board and you're having a board meeting sharing sensitive information, I wouldn't do it.
It depends on the context.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things, right? You gotta be careful.
Yeah, we use Blue Jeans, but that's a paid premium service. FaceTime, if you have an Apple
FaceTime
product,
is a really good one.
free, and it uses Apple's encryption system, which is really, really good.
It's one of the best out there, right?
Yeah, and I think Skype is also, I have to double check, don't quote me on that, but I think Skype also has encryption in place because it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't comment.
I can't comment on that, but I'll look into Skype as well. FaceTime definitely.
Yeah.
Skype, I think, may have those options as well.
Yeah, I just think at this point in time, until we delve a little bit deeper, if using Zoom, in your question, using it for regular networking meetings, not a big deal. But
I think you're probably talking about the chamber mixers, I think you're talking about, I've seen. Wink, wink.
Those ones would be fine. But
fine.
if it's boards talking about sensitive information, I just wouldn't do it on that platform. I mean, I just wouldn't.
At this point in time.
At this point in time.
After 90 days.
It could change.
After 90 days, after Zoom does their changes, I'm sure it will be just fine.
They could do it, but it's going to cost big money. Right?
But that being said, they're like the platform now.
Right. Apple's doing it, but it costs them big money. But they had the money to do it.
That's why Facebook released their Messenger app
for free.
Yeah, for free.
Right.
Like all these companies are competing for this market. So
yeah, for sure.
Yes, chamber mixers. Yes, they said that. Yeah.
What do you do at chamber mixers?
Do
you mix chambers? Get it?
You should join me on one.
No. That's your shtick.
More cool tech projects?
This one's kind of cool.
All right, so schools are out. I mean, they're out in terms of they're not in classrooms, but they're like virtually training. So some students are like, well, I want to visit my campus. So what some college students have done is they've recreated their campuses in Minecraft.
Now, the picture on the upper right-hand side there, that's the actual picture of the university, right? Or college?
Yeah, so on the top there, that is the actual...
It's the University of Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and the bottom...
And the bottom one is the... Yeah, and the bottom one there is... What is the bottom one?
That's the Minecraft version. I know!
You know what? We should actually build a White Hatter Academy. Right? And I know that Candace keeps bothering me.
We need a server for that.
Yeah, and
the chat's going to go crazy now.
I know the kids keep asking you to get a server, but at this point in time, given what's current events, we got to be careful. We can't afford it right now, but hopefully as we come out of this, we will. Because I think it'd be really cool to create this, like the White Hatter Academy, and then when you walk into the academy, you can go into different doors and different rooms to learn different things.
If everyone knows a way we can make a free Minecraft server, let us know, and we'll.
In fact, a couple of our followers, didn't they send you a...
Yeah.
They
did. We have a Martin here from Let's Get Victoria says, you should join in on one of our meetings and talk about the Zoom issues.
Yeah,
I would love to.
Not only can we do that, Roller Skate Victoria as well as Martin and others.
That's Martin.
Oh, that's Martin?
That's Martin.
We've actually just designed as well a program now that we can deliver where we can actually provide businesses with policy and procedure specifically to doing online work at home. And not only do we have that, but we also have the ability to provide the training through our Blue Jeans so that we can provide that training to all your employees, because this is going to be huge.
Yeah.
Is that there are so many things that I think employers need to be thinking about from a safety and security standpoint, and good policy in place helps to prevent the organization and the employee and the public that you're dealing with. And so having proper policy and guidance in place is extremely important. A good example, just one thing, is if a business has given a business laptop to an employee to use at home, that employee who takes that laptop at home has to make sure that when they're not using it, they turn it off, they secure it, so that if somebody else breaks into the house, let's say they're out shopping for food every week and somebody breaks in their home and takes their corporate computer and it's not properly encrypted and locked down, now we have a huge privacy issue that you're going to have to run through. So these are things that people out of necessity aren't necessarily thinking about, because we needed to make this quick pivot, especially for companies, right? Because there's so many companies right now, including ours, are financially stressed as a result of where we were getting our income to support our employees in our company has dwindled quite a bit. So a part of that is making sure that companies have good policy and procedure in place and provide that policy and procedure with training, and we can do all of that. So if you're interested, give us a call, right?
Yeah, just send me an email, Martin. We can talk about the Zoom.
Or anybody else. Anybody else?
Asher Smith, I built my campus before the coronavirus.
Pretty cool.
Asher joins us on our live streams on Minecraft.
Is he the one who designed this thing?
Here we go.
Did he make this for you?
Steel Rails, which
Steel
I think
Rails.
is Asher.
Is that Asher? Asher,
Asher, that's you, right? Because I think that's your name on the email. Has created, for me, and it will be for Canada soon, a Minecraft skin. And you can't really build a hat in Minecraft, but there is a feather for where the hat would be.
Oh, is that what that little white lightning bolt looks like on the right side of that?
Yeah.
On the left side, that's the feather. Yeah, that's the feather that's in the hat.
So thank you, Steel Rails, for making the Minecraft skin.
Yeah, for sure. You know what else is really cool about what's going on right now? We're separating, but we're using social media to stay connected, right, with one another. And one of the things, big shout out to all those people who are working the front lines. We're talking doctors, nurses, ambulance, the post office, those people who are working in the grocery stores for us, the pharmacists, the bus drivers, right? Kind of doing big shout out to what it is that they're doing. But, one of the things that we're finding in Canada, United States is they're running out of PPE. Personal protection equipment,
yeah.
PPE. So people are getting pretty, they're getting very creative. And we love TikTok. We're on TikTok. TikTok has some issues with respect to age appropriateness and stuff. But check out this video. This is from let's do it with the top camera, Brandon. Here we go. Oh, we'll go this way so check this out. So this is a healthcare provider who was running out of PPE to protect themselves. So they came up with this really ingenious. This is what's cool about social media is you can watch this. Isn't that cool? Watch. She has just hacked a face shield. How cool is that, right? Where all of a sudden they created this face shield out of the plastic things that you put in like
to a binder.
binders.
Yeah.
She takes paper and puts it on. Like, how cool is that, right? Like, it is so cool to see how people are now doing things to get creative to help protect themselves and others. And the other really cool thing about what's going on in Canada right now, it is so cool. Like on Twitter, I tag it hashtag #OCanadaRocks. And what we're doing is we're recognizing companies and individuals right now who are doing things out of the goodness of their hearts to help those frontline medical people, the police who are dealing with this stuff, right? Where they're developing using their 3D printers, right, to develop parts for all the machines that they have, masks, Zodiac, which is the company that builds like life preservers and that kind of stuff. They've changed their entire distribution and they're making gowns now for doctors and nurses. It is, the distillery here in Victoria that has moved away from making gin and they're making now hand sanitizer. And they're giving out free to all the first responders, healthcare workers, people who are working in our the homeless shelters and stuff. Just unbelievable. And that's what's really cool about social media right now is that although we're apart, separating to do the physical distancing, social media is keeping us together where we can share and celebrate and bring these things to the attention. It's pretty cool, right? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was a pretty good session.
It's good. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here on our YouTube Live. It will be saved. Tomorrow, we are going live on Instagram, and it's going to be Munchies Monday. And
what are you making?
We're making pizza at 3 p.m.
Pizza?
Pizza. Gluten-free pizza, 3 p.m. Because I can't eat gluten.
Are you going to have pineapple on it?
No.
Oh, wow.
That's at 3 p.m. A couple of questions just in the chat before we end. Life apart ahead, are you planning on going for an hour on Sundays?
No, I kind of like this 30 to 40
minutes. Yeah.
40-minute thing kind of thing, right?
MK Mai.
Oh yeah, you mean Mustang, not Zodiac. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I was thinking Zodiac as in the boat, life preserver. Yeah, you're right, Mustang, right? And it's kind of cool, right?
We kind of do go for an hour. We have our Instagram pre-live show on Instagram on our @White Hatter team, and that's you and I just messing around.
Yeah.
And Candace is there too, and we all have fun. Don't.
Well, I might have to do it, right? Just to show.
I'm going to cut off the stream right now.
No.
I'm going to cut off the stream right now.
No. Watch. right, hold on. Here we go. I've got a program now. Hold on. I'll do it here in a second here.
What do you know?
Ready? Here we go. It's Trolga. Watch.
What is this abomination?
Isn't that cool? It's an app called Talker, right?
Okay.
So
no.
I'm thinking, and
No.
I asked Trolga to do that, and I'm thinking about giving out a message every day that's inspirational.
Oh no, not with that abomination. Okay. Well, that's on our Instagram show, and check our Instagram page.
Maybe Trolga could do one of these shows all by themselves electronically.
Oh man.
Ready.
At White Hatter Team is our Instagram. 3 p.m. tomorrow, we're going live, and we'll be doing a bunch of other things, and I think Beth will be there too. So please join us on Instagram and here on YouTube throughout the week, and we'll see you next time we go live.
See ya. This is
Darren, and Candace in the back,
Beth, who's watching in the house, shaking her head, going, "What am I doing?"
Candace, who was doing all the comments and chat here on the back end. Thank you so much.
JJ 1212 for the mug that they gave us too, right?
Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
See ya. Bye.